Hello, my friends. I hope you are all doing very well. It's a joy to be with you once again as we work through this crisis that's hit our nation and globally affecting all of us. And my hope is that through these videos, I can inspire, encourage, and empower you and your teams. I know here today in the Pacific Northwest, it's absolutely gorgeous outside. The sun is shining. My wife and I went for a walk yesterday, and it's easy to get caught up in all the negative. And we begin to talk about what are the gains? What are we gaining through this? And I jotted down some notes. We both had some things to share, and I jotted down some notes for myself. The things that I'm gaining as we go through this crisis together. I'm gaining more time with my wife. Time to connect, reflect, plan, strategize, just communicate. We have extra time here in the house. I'm creatively thinking about my company and our future, and that's sparked these videos and some new ideas for the future to take some of my workshops that we've done live and to put those to video so we can share those with even more companies around the nation. It's sparking more time just for me to reflect and think and strategize for the future and think about my family and what we're planning together. So there's a lot of good gains coming out of this, and I hope that each of you takes opportunity to take advantage of some of this downtime and make some gains for yourself. All right, so today, this is intentionality lesson number 3. We're going to be wrapping up this short 3-part intentionality series. If you haven't seen the first 2, I hope that you do take advantage of that and share it with your teams. So we're going to jump into 9 waypoints, and today is 7, 8, and 9. 9 waypoints to help you lead an intentional, more purpose life. I was looking at Sarah Blakely, an interview with her. She's the founder of Spanx, and she's the youngest self-made billionaire in American history. And she was talking about how she got started and some of the hurdles that she had to overcome. And she said this, and I wrote it down to pass on to you. It's about intentionality. Did I spend the majority of my day focused on what I'm good at? Did I spend the majority of my day focused on what I'm good at? That's intentionality. And she talked about some of the ways that she does this. This is what I say. Too many people live as participants of their own life and not architects. Participants and not architects. And I'm hoping that these 9 waypoints help you become more of an architect of your life and your future. And I've said this, that living with intention means saying no to the things that aren't important so we can say yes to what matters most. Okay, intentionality waypoint number 7. There's no way we can talk about intentionality without talking about time blocking. Taking your calendar and making it obey your priorities. That's what time blocking is. You take your daily, your weekly, or your monthly calendar. I prefer weekly, and you set aside the times for the things that matter most to your future. I'm going to use an illustration I've done on stages around the nation when I talk about the use of time. So this is your calendar, your weekly calendar, your monthly calendar, and we're going to we're going to start with the most important things in your life. We're going to take some of those things and we're going to put it in. We're going to fill up your time. We're going to fill up your calendar. There we go. Calendar is pretty full. Your time is pretty full. Listen, time is finite. You don't have any more than anybody else, and no one has more than you. So here we have your day, your week. It's pretty full. It's pretty full because you put in the biggest things first. Well, it's not just a big thing. You have some other things you have to do that aren't as big. Is there room in here for those? Well, yeah, there sure is. Let me rearrange this a little bit and just rearrange my calendar and my schedule, and it's not hard to move some things around and put some things in. And there you go. I could rearrange it even a little bit better if I had more time. There's space here and there's space there. You get the idea. Key, I started with the big and I went smaller. Now, the fillers. If I have the time, I could fill this entire thing up with these BBs. I'm not going to take the time, you get the point. Here's the key to this illustration. I began my schedule on my calendar by putting in the most important things first, but this is not what most people do. They set the most important things aside: family, relationships, creative time, self-care, exercise, sleep. They set those things aside and they put in the small things first. If I had the time, I could fill this entire thing up with BBs. I won't take the time, but I want you to imagine this entire thing filled up with the smallest, least significant things in life. And that's how most people live. They fill their schedule up with the things, the tyranny of the urgent. And so now imagine this is filled with BBs. There's no room for the big things like their marriage and their kids. That's how most people live their lives. What I'd like to do now is talk about what these things might be. I have BBs everywhere. What these things might be. In your notes, I want you to write down 5 things that I believe are the most important time blocking elements that I want you to put in your calendar first. 5 most important time blocks. Number 1 is your creativity block. When do you take the time to just think and create? I can put it another way. When do you take the time to just let your mind wander? If you don't have time in your schedule where your mind is free just to wander, you're missing out on the creativity block. Your best ideas are right here. They should be one of the first things that goes in your calendar. And you set that aside weekly, maybe 1 or 2 blocks a week, where you just sit, notepad, pen in hand, and you just create and you just think. Let your mind wander. That's when my best ideas have come. Creativity time needs to go in near the top. Second one is your relationship block. Are you dating your spouse? Are you dating your kids? Spending time with your family, family time. Make sure your relationship block is scheduled in your calendar or it may not ever happen. Too many BBs get in the way. That's got to go in here. The third block is your investment block. Investing in others. This could be mentoring, coaching. This is when you multiply yourself. Are you investing in your community, investing in your family? Make sure that investment block is scheduled out in your calendar. That's number 3. Number 4, your recovery block. Make sure your recovery block gets in there. This is, you're getting enough sleep. You're getting enough exercise. Yes, exercise is actually a recovery block. It helps the brain process, rushes endorphins to the brain, helps you feel better about yourself. Make sure you're getting enough exercise in your recovery block. Let me be honest with this. When our area shut down a couple weeks ago and our gyms were shut down, I went into a little bit of a depression just because I didn't get to work out like I wanted to. It wasn't in my schedule. And yes, I could work out here at home. I have a Peloton right over there. But because my schedule is so messed up, it's taken me a couple weeks to get back into a recovery block routine. Put that in your calendar and in your schedule. And then finally, your administration block. And this is actually the smaller balls. These are all the little things that have to be done. The key here, gang, is to go in the proper order. The big stuff goes in first, then the smaller stuff, and then the stuff that you could be delegating. And all those little admin tasks, if you can get them off your schedule, get them off your schedule. I'll repeat what Sarah Blakely said. Are you spending most of your time doing what you do best? Those are the blocks that should be going first into your calendar. So get intentional about your calendar. Get intentional about your schedule and your time. Arrange your work. Arrange your life. Set it in there. Okay, intentional time blocking. Number 8 is one of my favorites I get to talk about, and that's intentional play. Yes, you heard me right. Write it down. Intentional play. I absolutely believe in the power of play. If you talk to any of my clients, they will tell you that we will focus on strategic business development stuff. But I want to make sure in every one of those coaching conversations, I ask them, when are you doing what fills your soul? When do you get a break? When do you give yourself a break? You cannot be all work and no play. It's going to make you dull and boring. Intentional play. Let me read you a great quote here from Abraham Maslow, a legendary psychologist. Almost all creativity involves purposeful play. Sometimes I have these type A alpha CEOs, and they work so hard, they drive themselves in the ground. I can relate. I did that about 10 years ago. There are sometimes we'll sit down and we'll just plan out their entire year to make sure they get in the vacations that they need to have with their families. Because if they don't do it intentionally, it's not going to happen, gang. It's not going to happen. You have to plan, play. I can tell you how we do it. The Huntsman family, we try to get away as a family once a quarter. It doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to go out of the country. We like to, but sometimes we'll just go around the state here. Now with this COVID-19 thing, we're supposed to go to Cancun next week. That's off the table. So we're going someplace locally. We're all going to get together. We're going to play darts. We're going to shoot. We're going to play board games because we believe in the power of play and connection. So we do stuff once a quarter. Those are bigger things. As a family, we get together almost every single week and just pull out the board games and laugh and have fun. For myself, if I don't get out in the woods or get away by myself just to think and fill my soul, if I don't do that, I'm no good to anybody. You have to take the time to play. Let me tell you this, it's not going to happen accidentally. It has to happen intentionally. All of you are hard workers. You wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't a hard-working business professional. That's who I help. Those are the people that I want to invest in. So I know you are. Please hear me carefully. You're no good to anyone if all you do is work. You have to play. So I do a lot of corporate workshops, and these are 4 hours long usually. And when I first began, I thought business, corporate culture, work, strategy, operations, technology, information, financial reports, etc., etc. And I realized over the years of doing this that we need to have some time in those to play. So now if you came to one of my workshops, you might be building a marshmallow tower, a paper airplane competition, we have chair races, Nerf gun fights. Those aren't frivolous. Those are important for creativity. Plan to have creative play into your schedule. Here's a great quote for you. There is for many a poverty of play, and it shows in the lives of the people around them. Listen, play increases your creativity, it lightens your soul, it deepens joy, and it connects people. The Swiss philosopher Jean Piaget said this: if you want to be creative, stay in part a child with the creativity and invention that characterizes children before, listen to this, before they are deformed by adult society. Listen, don't be deformed by adult society. Inside of you is a little kid that still wants to come out and play, and your best self needs to play. So listen, when this video is over, I hope you do at least two things. Look at your weekly schedule and time block around the biggest, most important things, and then also schedule in some play. Okay, number 9. We're going to end on this one. Leave an intentional legacy. So intentional time blocking, intentional play, and I want you to think about the intentional legacy you want to leave behind you. One of my favorite exercises I do with my clients and myself is this. I'll have them zoom ahead a year or 5 years and 10 years and describe to me in detail the person they want to be, the company they want to build, the father they want to be, the family they want to have. Paint me a picture of that. And then we'll come back to now and we'll begin building in that direction. So what I want to do with you is I want you to zoom ahead to when you're 80 or 90 years old. And you're looking back on your incredibly full and fulfilled life. What does it look like? What do you want to have accomplished? What kind of person do you want to be? What do you want people to say about you? What kind of impact do you want to leave? I want you to think about that and begin working your way back. Come back to now, and here are 4 questions that I ask of myself. What do I want to see? What do I want to do? How do I want to be remembered? And what kind of impact do I want to leave behind me? And I'm going to answer those for you. What do I want to see? I want to see as much of the world as possible. I grew up in a very close, I told you this, small-minded home. I want to see the world, and I want to see it with my family. I want to have those experiences. What do I want to do? I want to do nothing less than change the world. And I don't say that lightly. I want to change the world. That could be drilling another well in Kenya. That could be helping another orphanage in Uganda. That could be helping a company culture go from ordinary or negative to positive and powerful. And by doing that, I've helped change the lives and shape the lives of the people in that company. I love investing in leaders. So what I want to do is invest in leaders. How do I want to be remembered? Very easily. I want to be remembered as a man who loved deeply and who invested in leaders around me. I want to be seen. I want to be remembered as an investor in great leaders, young leaders, powerful leaders. That's how I want to be remembered. What is the legacy that I want to leave? What's the impact that I want to leave? That's going to begin with my kids. The impact that I want to leave with my kids is this, that one person can make a difference. I want my kids to know that one person can make a difference. I want the leaders that I have the benefit of impact. I want them to know that they can make a difference. I want them to know they're more powerful than they think they are. I want you to know that you're more powerful than you think you are. If I could leave an impact on your life, it's this. You're more powerful than you think you are, and you can impact the world in greater ways than you've ever known. What impact, what legacy do you want to leave? Get intentional about it, and then back up to today and begin saying, I'm going to begin leading a different life so that when I am 80 or 90, this is how I'm going to be remembered, and this is what's going to be said about me. For me, a legacy is not leaving something for people, it's leaving something in people. I hope I leave something in you. I do, I mean that. I hope I leave a seed in you that grows up to be something beautiful. If I can just spark an idea, or help you paint a picture, or plant a seed in you that grows up for your culture, your team, generations after you, and that just makes my day. That fills me up. That's what I hope to be doing in these videos. For me, this isn't just business, because I get to deal with people, and people matter. And I want you to know that you matter. I hope that you can lead an intentional life that fills you with tremendous purpose and meaning. So get intentional. I'm going to say this again. You can't manage yourself to success. You can only lead yourself to success. You have to get intentional about it. Okay, so for today, wrapping up, intentional time blocking. Begin with the most important down to the least important. Intentional play. Set aside time to go have fun and be creative. And finally, give a lot of thought to the intentional legacy that you are leaving behind. Now listen, I love you all, and I hope that you take these things and just go shine.